thanks to the speakers that came before me. You guys were great. And I'll try to be a normal person like the community that I'm trying to reach out to when I do my project. And to the photographers, there's a nice picture that you could see from this end. This is beautiful. Thanks, Oslo. Thanks, Kunstplass. Thanks to our new friends and friends and friends of friends for welcoming us here in Oslo. I like this city. I like the dynamics and complexities at one. I'm loving this space, and I'm coming back next year. Some of you won't get to see everything. And you'll find me on Skype, on Facebook as well, and on Instagram. I'm so active, and I'm busy buzzing about Oslo. I don't know if the speakers are connected to what I'm about to play, which is a short video that my colleague and friend, my love, Lindega Kampi, who's wearing a something at the back, has tuned with kids. What we've done to interfere with the public spaces and the sophisticated spaces that are there for the acclaimed artists, as they always say, we just like tune workshops that helps individuals who won't see themselves at galleries or in museums. We do workshops with different individuals. And unfortunately, most of our work is not funded by any government, meaning that I have to work in order for me to finance for the project that we are doing. We give visual workshops or photo workshops to any person who cares to know or who wants to see herself or himself in any space. And we get to showcase with the people the work that they have done, which is the same like the workshop that you have there. I'm always lucky to be given spaces, but I always like to exploit these spaces with members of the communities. So in that way, it's not about Zanele, it's about us, because I'm one of us, not one of them. This here, I will show you some few photographs from the previous project that we worked on, which is called Photo XP. Since 2004, I started training women and minority groups or youth in different spaces on how to take photographs. And people don't need to have any degrees or diplomas to photograph themselves and their spaces, speaking on agent issues or immediate issues that are affecting them as human beings, ranging from everything else. And with this specific project, we work with youngsters at a school called Aurora Girls High School in Soweto. Soweto has a vast history. It is where most of our politicians come from, ranging from Bishop Tutu to Mandela to Sisulu. All the great men come from that space. And Aurora is one unique space because it's a school for girls, a high school for girls, ranging from age 12 until age 20. And there we thought that it was important for our youth to have sense of photography from early, because not many black children will make it to university anyways. And not many black people end up within those spaces because of the fuck-up system that we find ourselves in, and also the education system that excluded our people. We also thought to ourselves that if people were to engage, use photography as their means of articulation, we could speak volumes and tackle many issues that affect human beings within those spaces. At this school, we collaborated with a teacher who then became our co-facilitator, as a person who recruited the kids to be in the project and ensure that all the girls attended our classes as well. So we moved from, with that project, we exhibited at the Cape Town Month of Photography, and we have since started with another group in Benin, Cotonou, and Porto Novo, for those people who travel. And we're training also youth within the spaces, and our focus there mainly is on gender-based violence. And then we are busy now with a group of 6 lesbians, mostly were affected by unemployment, and also we want to make sure that the communities are able to document their own lives within those settings. I'll share with you how we worked on the project, which I'll give you the link to it. And also, this is how we exploited the public space to make sure that the exhibition or the work wasn't only seen by the selected few, but the work was seen by all the students at the school. So this is November 2004. Sorry, 2014, Soweto. And the images that you'll be seeing here is how the girls themselves worked on the exhibition and also projected the work that they have produced. Sorry, Mr. Tech, I have a Maasai piece and it will make noise. Can you pick? Because I could take it off for you. Okay, cool. Just say these things, it's okay. You see? Yeah. So we're basically saying that, unlike the other artists that you presented, Ted, I won't say fuck your white walls. I will occupy those white walls. I know how to deal with them. Because if I say fuck the walls, it means that I'm shortchanging 20, 30, 40 people who need to have access to those white walls. Because I do have access doesn't mean that I should say to someone, fuck off, you know, I want to use these white walls or else they'll stain. Instead, I paint them black and ensure that people get the grip. We can't just say, you know, we can't deny ourselves the right to be seen when the walls are there. Like here, we're so happy to be here, you know. Then open. Yeah. Okay. View. Slideshow. So these are our participants in a project called Photo XP, which you experience photo, then to look at photos, then to be trained to become a photographer. And this is what the girls worked on. And we use the tennis court at the school that is hardly used by anything. The school doesn't have any big library in which we could have showcased the work of everybody. So I just thought to myself, come rain, no sun, we will showcase this work to everybody. So we used the fence, as you can see here. And these are the images of some of the photographers shown by the students. I'm always bothered by the light because this makes this looks otherwise. Are you seeing better, guys? Okay. And these are our two girls. And we invited the family members of the participants to be at the school, then to always come to school when there are complaints about their children. These are the girls, these are the students, and this is one of our participants who was at school. This now we're using like educational facilities that are there for everybody, and people go to the school every day, but they never, most of them, it's very rare that they could have an opportunity to see an exhibition, even understanding what an exhibition will be, because we come from families where we are not encouraged, you know, to pursue art, you know, as a career. People are told that get a proper job because art won't pay for the bills. So we just wanted to make sure that our girls have access to art from early than to access art unnecessarily. And some of the girls who participated in the project, they've already matriculated, meaning that they're no longer at high school, they are doing different courses. If not, they are no longer at school or they are staying at home because they can't afford to go to colleges or universities. And this exhibition in just one day was accessed by more than 500 young students at the school in one day, in less than 8 hours of time. And it means that the space wasn't confined to anything, but it was just an open space. And we just use the very same space that they not utilize for such projects. And there's Linda there. At the back, there is Mangazana Linda, who is also our co-facilitator. These are the projects that were taken by girls as part of this, ranging from different issues, from problem with access to public spaces where kids can play freely without fear of being violated by vagrants or rapists. Here the kid is playing with a box. They know how to make fun, and then also there's a tenant of one of the students who shot the person who gave them a home. Yeah. And this is Cindy, who was doing matric at the time. She's holding the former poster of Bafana Bafana, which is our national soccer team. But it's a stained poster. And in front of the wall or there is a picture of a young mother who occupied that space at that time. I don't know where she is, but she's in another project. So here we're trying to find ways in which people are not limited to time, because the museum is open between 9 and 10, let's say 9 and 5. And then also it's open not for free. Sometimes people have to pay to get to the galleries. Meaning that a lot of Black people won't even dare to go to those spaces because they are far away from their own communities. And two, after having traveled from the township to town, you still have to pay. So people tend to prioritize other things. But what I've done in the past is to organize kumbis for the members of my community, the LGBTI communities from Soweto, from Kailicha. You bring the people to the galleries, you know, so they'd have access to art as well. After that, I will share a short story of how we do these workshops, just to show you, maybe for some of you who didn't see the video on the side, I'll share with you just one video of the participants of the show that you have there. But before then, I will share the story. No, Linda, I thought I was seeing a video. Mali? Okay. Okay, I might as well. There's no rape story here, Mali? Huh? No. It's just tips. What's about? Oh no, this is for here. Yeah. And for here, we forget about that. I'll just share with you online for those that I'm connected with. Here, we work with this group. This is all of us. In case you saw some pictures and you were wondering who produced those images. Here we call the United Queer Nations, and this is how we did it here. We just connected with individuals from here, because we felt that most of the time, even the locals don't come to the museums. And how then can we make sure that we bring forth the voices of the people who come from here? Most of the people that you see us in this picture were not born here. They came with their parents, or they came because they came to seek asylum in this country. These are young queer or LGBTI human rights defenders, etc., and whom we have requested to portray themselves and talk about being in this space, and also the challenges that they have when they look at themselves as being members of the community. I always think that we can't talk about art activism without looking at ourselves. Who are you? What bothers you? What forces you to make you intervene with the problem that you're seeing in your public space? Same like what you have presented, Ted, earlier, to say, we know that we are losing friends daily, if not monthly. How then do we use art, you know, to deal with such issues and open up or create a dialogue, you know, which is no longer new now, because we're talking about like years of suffering. We have lost friends, we have lost family members, etc., etc. I didn't want to be everybody, but I documented, Linda and I, we documented my nephew who died in 2013 from HIV complications. And Faces and Phases projects that you might see in a published magazine at the back there. It's published by FED, which is your local feminist document. It has some Faces and Phases portraits. And that project was inspired by a young lesbian who was a victim of hate crime, and she was raped 3 times and she contracted HIV/AIDS. and she succumbed to complications in March 2007. But I started working on that project in 2006. So we are noticing, except that we tend to delay and go about when we know that we have to confront the problem or the issue. Here I will share with you how we've done it. And we don't force people to talk about things that they're not willing to talk about. My name is Zanele Muholi, and I'm in Oslo, Norway. I am a visual activist, and I believe that we need to share knowledge. In Oslo, we've met a diverse group of people, beautiful individuals who had something to say.
Ye jangal satare dare jan jan, ye jangal satare dare. Ye jangal satare dare. My name is Nina. My name is Nina. My name is Nina, and I'm also part of history.
Project or something that I want to do is based on here, and me with my background and the personality and the home is where you have to be. I found one in Norway because of my girlfriend. I feel safe, I feel loved, I feel everything. So where you put your heart, where your heart belongs, and where you feel loved.
My name is Sue. I was born in Burma, raised in Norway. I am a part of the Visual Activism Project. My project is about being from two different cultures and not feeling torn between them. The facial paint I have is called the naka, which is a traditional Burmese sun protection lotion. And I also have mascara and lipstick, which is very traditional for Western culture. My picture will hopefully show the two cultures merge into one.
My name is Ahmed Omar, and I come originally from Sudan. I've been in Norway for the last 8 years. I come here as a political refugee, and Sudan started to be not a welcoming place for a person who has the interests that I have or the lifestyle that I have. My project here is all about my jewelries. Most of the pieces that I wear today, I made them myself. I believe every single piece of what I'm wearing is represents some part of the process that I have been through, and my pride, basically.
Focus, the shirts is going to
Yes, I see the label
so
now.
Please first introduce yourself, who you are, where are we,
Yeah.
and what's your project all about.
Okay. My name is Vincent Chen. We are now meet in the center of Oslo. One of the ideas is about speaking out to communicate with other people. We as a minority, do we really have the chance to speak out? Inspiration was actually to use cups. In the old time for children, the cups can also use like a toy for telephone. Another idea is about food. Norwegian food is also another challenge. And luckily, I love Norwegian food. So one of the picture will be about the different kind of food and how we integrate them, naturalize them.
Hello, my name is Edi Ismail. I'm from Sudan. I work in architecture firm. I'm also LGBT activist, and I work in some issues related to gender, race, and LGBT issues. My project is about prejudice and perceptions, and breaking this, prejudice about us and prejudice that face me. About the concept that we always having assumption of some people, about generalizing some people. You have to take everyone individually and not generalizing whole group. We are many. African come many different shapes and looks, and we all diverse, we all independent and individuals.
This is me here, and my name is Ruth Nakato. I love it when I look at myself. I love myself when I look at this photo, because I didn't know that I was really a beautiful girl after all the things I've been said to. But when I took it, I realized that I'm even more beautiful. I like it because of the colors. I was trying to put some more colors and more African cloth around myself. So it's so beautiful. I love it. I love my body. I love everything about me. I'm a strong woman, and meaning that there is hope. Hope coming. I have hope. I'm not afraid. I'm free.
These pictures were taken while I was having this kind of movements. Those movements, it's like self-representation. It's not particularly represents all of me, but is some part of a story of me, or what's happening with me, so that I would be like to share as.
My name is Lindega Kambi. I'm a documentary photographer. It is a responsibility for me to share it so that they can document their stories. We want people to use photography as the way of living, and also to use photography as the way of healing. In most cases, we always document other people's story. We want people to focus on themselves.
Wangena lapha oguthiwa ongena khona kaphumi. We've entered impossible spaces. We have managed to access the museums, let the cultural platforms, have us in them. What the meaning of this?